I am so late. I am so sorry. Holy shit. Oh my god. I don't even have lighting. Oh god. Okay. Hi, everybody! Welcome to the stream! It's time. It's episode 5. I'm telling you now, no matter how long this takes, just like Monday's stream, where we had a 10-hour stream, I will finish this today. Alright? We're going out with a bang. I'm going out with a big bang. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. We're gonna finish this. Let's go. And also, I've been thinking about... Hold on. I've been thinking about this for, since last stream. I'm just sitting here thinking about this. Don't mind me. Yep. Okay. I'm really hoping that we don't come across more of that. I might die. I'm really hoping. Whew. All right, this is gonna be a long one. I probably should just get started, right? You're drawing me in this outfit too. I want to make this outfit. I'm gonna be real. I want to make this. I want to make this vest so bad. I want to make the overcoat really bad. Like, I am obsessed. You have no idea. These outfits are so good from a fashion design standpoint. Like, I'm melting. I'm actually melting. All right, this is gonna be a long stream. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I am way too bright. Hello! Welcome to the stream of streams. Am I good? Oh my god! I went blue for a second. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. Although I will say, if there is more of the Herlock Holmes in the vest, I might not make it through the day. We may not make it. We'll see. We'll see if I survive today. The Hound of the Baskervilles, the adventure of the unspeakable story. Oh, wow.
It's coming! Holmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Holmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Oh. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience, we were first thrown onto the day we arrived in the country, and in Soski-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Oh god. We're still living in Herlock's place. Oh no. God damn it. Please, I really hope that vest doesn't come back to haunt me. I was woken by the unnerved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Sasato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Sasato-san? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Rizzo, thank you for the 15 months, I appreciate it. Oh no, of course not, how silly of me. But I think Iris said that she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Holmes' suite? Yes, Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see, what case is it today? Here we go again. The telegram. So what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram. I don't know what you're talking about. Sus auto. Sus. Sorry, but you're not gonna get away with that. I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing's interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me that it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you all about it at some point. All right, I understand. Okay. I suppose Sosuke-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruto-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Sosuke-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean as regards to Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yeah, I can't help but wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. Ooh-hoo-hoo. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day that we arrived in London. Hi, Tion! Hi, Lilia! Even 2 months from now, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. But at least Osuke-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's a little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean that he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Osuke-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then? Oh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Nothing, never mind. Sasato. To the Holmes suite? Wait, no. You know what we should be doing? Is examining the room. There's so much shit in here. That spade has been in here since we started renting the place. Oh, that's not a spade, Naruto-san. It's a shovel. No shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. Aw, Langy. Langy, hi, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Would you like some tea, Naruto-san? Thank you, Sasato-san, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Sasato-san makes makes me from time to time, it's Iris's unique herbal infusions. This place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? So this is the tea set that Sasato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's so bitter. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruto-san. No, I hate drinking tea. You can't make me. Aw, Lilia, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed LunarCon. That's really sweet. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so. Oh my god. Shut up, Susato, please. We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. Any time spent tidying up is time that you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. Look at that angry Dharma doll back there. The Dharma doll I brought with me from home. I still with only one eye colored in. I said I'd color the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but you have won, haven't you? Twice, in fact. Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color in the other eye once you think I'm a proper full-fledged lawyer? If you insist. No, why would you make... Don't give that to Sasato! Fuck that! We don't like her. Oh, I'm doing good, Lanky. Aw. Ah, that must be the telegram. Let's see. No, you mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. I'm sorry, Naruto-san. You can be very mischievous at times. Then put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. Do you know I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san? I've never even peeped inside. I should think so, too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. Whatever you say, young maiden. We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones, too. Anemones. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness. Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great though, is it? Can't agree. I had one job growing up and it was to tend to my fish tank, and I was so fucking lazy and I never wanted to clean inside the tank. My poor fish. So much work. There is so many things in this room that are so questionable. Morning, Bruno. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Oh, there was a violin on the left. I remember seeing a violin. Is Holmes trying to learn how to fucking play it?
Ah, yes. You noticed that too, did you?
Ah, yeah, he is, isn't he?
Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems.
Oh, the best. Ah, the best. Kill me. Kill me now. Kill me now. Fucking.
Hello, Mr. Holmes?
Good morning. Good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Holmes? You look miserable in the way you were playing the violin before. Humph. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. That's their cat? Wagahai. Good morning, boy.
So cute!
That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get here?
Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
Ugh, it would be indeed, but it'd be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Holmes is such a fucking mood. Something's missing from Mr. Holmes's desk. Wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Holmes. But you're still looking fine as hell. Okay, what's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its millicent tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Holmes?
For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more reticles of unbridled emotion!
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, and the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Ugh, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Damn, he is dead. Mr. Holmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Mr. Sado. Your observational skills do you credit. Do you credit?
Oh no, Mr. Holmes, they pale into insignificance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windy Banks now.
Sorry? It's at a windy bank?
No, Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery.
Pawn what? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly.
But isn't it very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? How does pawnbroking work? What did you mean whenever you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I have no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see?
A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an No! We just started! Oh wait, oh that's the worst case scenario. We just started. The Joy-Cons even say they're connected. They're both green. Fucking hell. Switching them out, don't worry. Hello? Hello? This is the second one. Now I have 2 left Joy-Cons that say 1. How does this even work? How does this work? I've never had this problem before. How do you have... Oh god. How do you have 2 left Joy-Cons? Oh, sorry. My Switch left the dock. How does this... How is this... How is this... This is such a weird connection issue. It's not even... Look, it only does like this. Whenever I press the button, it... This is so abnormal. That's such a weird problem. I've never seen this before. It's so weird. Yes, I'm aware that the console battery is at 100%. Thank you. What is happening? I just did connect it to the console, you dingus. I don't want to go to my Pro Controller. I fucking hate Pro Controllers. Man, I did like the... Maybe it's something I did whenever I hacked my Joy-Cons. Could be. Because what I did is, I did like the hack for drifting. And my drifting problem actually did go away, but now I have connectivity issues. So I fixed one problem. And another problem arose, which is not very cool. Yes, they are updated. I'm fully aware of how to use my Switch, I promise. It's just a weird problem. Ugh. I'm just like annoyed because I really don't want to use my Pro Controller. Give me a second. I'm gonna run, Gonna do a test real quick. Hi, chat. How are you guys doing? Welcome, by the way. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to do this. Now that should work. Ah! That did work. Gaming. Okay. Had to entirely resync. Maybe that'll actually permanently help. Who knows? Okay, anyway. Woo! I just completely reset it, so hopefully it's better. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. The world is dead to Mr. Holy shit, there's more to this room? Oh my god. There's so much to look at, oh my lord! At least, oh my god, what is happening? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently, but there's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Ah, yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan. He said that tightly clenched fists and teeth. That's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science is the future, Mr. Naruto. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown throws? What diverse skills you boast, Mr. Sato. Be useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list. This is where yours notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? The Boscombe Valley Mystery. Oh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris's latest work. I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Susato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime that you could imagine. Probably. You know, I don't know why, but I just, like, wouldn't put it past her. It's Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea. Hospitality. Yes. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. But if he's been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be on display here. I don't want to talk about the steak ever again. It's a sensitive topic. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection! It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather, like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruto. No favoritism there at all. No. Not at all. The fire is burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman? Question mark? It looks like huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. Mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? There's all sorts of these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up on so high I can't help but feeling that the whole lot is gonna topple at any moment. Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it? It just looks messy to me, like my desk. But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself. No favoritism here, then. You know, Sasato is, Sasato is Sasato. What else can you say? Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it? We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find that he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. I don't want that to happen. I do be simping greatly for Herlock Sholmes here. Unfortunately. Wagahai, talk to me about the cat. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then?
Oh yes, I've become very attached to little Waggy.
It would appear his previous owners completely forgotten him. Forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muse is empty as the hearts of their muses.
Oh! If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable.
Oh my god, I want the kitty! He really is. Oh yeah, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
What is that?
I call it the cat flapper mat.
A machine for making doors just for cats? Flapper mat.
That's right. It can make a cat flap with a little furry friend, like Waggy, in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Scary.
What was that? Wagahai?
What was that?
Oh no! Wagahai's tangled up in your violin! How does that even happen? I think he thinks it's a toy. No!
What's he doing to it?
Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin!
Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he?
Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley?
Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Looks fine to me. Oh, the string is... okay. So, this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? There is none.
Mr. Holmes?
What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think?
What do you mean, Mrs. Otto?
Oh, Susie's right! The tone of the wood is completely different!
And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. It's not even the right size, is it?
What's this?
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Holmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
Then what?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. What? What? Oh my god, he actually fell. What's happening in this game? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then?
Ah, I see what must have happened.
You do, Iris?
This is just a simple mix-up.
It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Chat, you know how yesterday I, kept on biting my tongue? Well, now I, have a sore on my tongue where I bit it repeatedly, and I still keep doing it again. It really sucks. Yesterday's bite of the tongue killed me. It's quite annoying. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. How am I gonna survive a 12-hour stream with a tongue that's half broken? I don't know. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windibank's until last week.
At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner! Oh god. Sholmes is back. There's a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always love a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth. Oh, what a wonderful idea. Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Winterbank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. Okay. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. For sure. Ah, fine state of affairs this is. And why I always say, Mr. Naruto, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruto. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toes with that vacant aspect, pressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct considering the urgency with which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Windbank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Holmes? Precisely, Mr. Sasato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to press your egg ever more obtusely? All right, say no more. Let's go then.
Don't worry, Rono. I'll be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Thank you, Iris. As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like, okay? Okay, but here's the problem that I present now. If we leave the premises, Holmes puts on his jacket and I don't get to stare at the vest anymore. Okay, the vest looks really nice. I'm sorry. It's just like... Okay. It just looks nice. I just... Okay. I should probably leave before I start simping even more. Yep, probably should do that. (221B Baker Street). Hey. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this.
Oh, I know! To actually be sharing a combination with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. I wouldn't be happy to defend you. Don't speak for me. Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. Ah, that's Winterbank's, the pawnbrokery. Looks much more, it looks much smarter than a pawnbroker's in Japan, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right.
I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable personally. It reminds me of a tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruto.
Uh-huh. Okay. Rizzo, thank you so much for gifting a sub to the community. I really appreciate it. Oh, man. Is that a statue of a man sitting on a toilet? I've always wanted one of those in my house. So, this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Oh, Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. Fuck. It's okay. You know what? The jacket still looks really good, so that's fine. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Holmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly, Mr. Holmes means business, too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Holmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yeah, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruto, and it's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our hire. Come! The fight is afoot! Oh my god. God, I love these designs. Can I examine your place first? There's a lot going on here. A lot going on here. What are you doing, my dear fellows? We are not here to browse for interesting curios. We have come to teach this broker a lesson. But there are just so many fascinating items. It looks as though we'll have to talk to Mr. Winterbank first before you can explore in here, Mrs. Sato. Fuck. Shams! Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different, it has holes in it, it's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Holmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. Oh lord, he running. Put it down. That might be the most like extreme 0 to 10 I've ever seen in my life. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one more thing before I pop off. Ah, yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Holmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, ah, here it is. You did. And when I took turn to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is all mine. I really like the animation for Sholmes, like, what's the word? Taken aback animation that all the characters seem to have. His just like actually falls completely on the ground. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sholmes without that. Questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. Checks out. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items that you've brought through my door in the past.
Oh, peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sholmes or such.
Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? Forgive me, oh my god! Wait, before you die, you must tell me more. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Sasada-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank.
For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more.
It houses something of very great value indeed.
The latest manuscript,
recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sholmes.
I beg your pardon, a manuscript.
You wish to deposit a manuscript?
Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true?
Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life.
Okay. Please put it down, sir. This is all very strange. I wonder, could I ask you for something?
Ah, gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you a 6 for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic, Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Those are my clothes, sir. Okay. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokers are used to rather like banks here in London, are used rather.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items, I offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. And if in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale at my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed, then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all.
The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity.
One should never talk of one's demise so casually.
Says the man who was telling us all that it was a good day to die only this morning.
And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs.
What sort of measures?
I engineered a simple device, which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in the shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank? Ha ha. What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of silhouette film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Aw, look at the dog picture. Cute. Oh yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One can only say, that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely, they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously place not one but two cameras in my shop, after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, you know. My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Holmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items that you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, that would be the only answer! Okay, no, it's not. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Somebody could get hurt. Fear not! Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. Okay, that's worse. It's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Holmes. So, Mr. Naruto, now we can explore at last. Okay. This is just like a perfect setup for a murder scene if there's only one bullet in the gun. They're setting this up. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed bellying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out, indeed, in recompense for his blunder.
Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
Seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do. There's but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it in a small pot, which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Holmes? I'm a detective, sir, and it's my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither can nor wish to retain. Oh my god. I am a big fat liar. There's no way I can pull off a 12-hour stream today. Oh my god. I'm already struggling.
Mr. Holmes, you are a wonder.
And the prime suspect of this, if this pawnbrokery is ever burgled? Whatever.
Look at this! What could this lovely, big, shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely, you have heard of such things in your own country? You have such things.
Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
What a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. Never heard anything like it before in my life.
This particular specimen is of a larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside, on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed. Though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Ah, science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
She's swooning.
Ah, science. What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items, offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquially, pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh yeah, now that you've mentioned it, you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. Why? My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. Why are we trying to sell my clothes? What would I wear? I have to wear something, people! I did not come here to sell my clothes!
What do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
Seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What are you looking at? What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereo... Fascinating!
It is aptly named, I assure you.
Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm gonna try it. Mr. Naruto, you must see at once. Alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my nose? What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. Three globes of gold. Is that some sort of charm? Dear me, have you not seen that sign before? No, never. The three golden balls are, in Great Britain at least, the universal sign of pawnbrokery. There are more than 700 such establishments in the capital, all showing the same sign. Oh, I see. I had not imagined your ignorance was so profound. Oh, well, what is the significance of three golden balls then? Does it have some special meaning? That is entirely unimportant here, dear madam. Irrelevant, even. You mean you don't know? Yes. Yep. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period had passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. Look at this, whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. There's a small catch just here, look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What, us? Nothing! No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Only tuppence for it? That ain't fair, you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I can see, young girl. Oh, it's Gina. Yep, that's her. Okay, yep.
Wait, don't we know her? I'm sure I recognize her. It's a young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Go and bet it, you lot! Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. Oh god, she'd just be loading that fucking gun.
Eh? What, you remember me then, do you?
I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us. Nothing to eat? Time to pop that black weasel. Sorry, coat, have ya?
What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, yeah, he knows. Register! Thank you so much for the 2-month resub, I really appreciate it.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article. I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf.
Pull the other one. I don't need help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on or I'll make trouble for you.
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc?
And you, go on, leave me alone.
Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Susanna-san can really stand her ground when she wants to.
Whatever.
Somehow I didn't really think that you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, well, I am, all right. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That's not a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase.
I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo. All right then, I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know best to answer that, really.
Suppose. Sometimes. She's honest. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade?
But not this time, all right? I swear, that thing belongs to me.
The disc that Mr. Winterbank is holding? Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Mr. Winterbank? What exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Travies, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming stuff. I hope you enjoy the emotes. Thank you so much for the support. Ah, this is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. In a music box.
What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of those discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on the disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see? British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was well...
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. That disc worth good money, I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ah.
Oh, shit. Oopsie poopsie. I use this time to sink Gina Lestrade. She's been in here before, of course. This little tattered million. I see. And brought some dubious article and all other with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me.
So, is there something dubious about the disc that she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. A storage ticket? So... Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A girl like me had a lot of stuff what needs storing.
Alright, yeah, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight. But as she gave me the ticket for it, I repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her.
But what was the article?
Do tell us, Mr. Windibank. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. Treebies! Thank you so much for gifting another sub to the community. Really appreciate it.
What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all of this? The disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree at a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, yes, you say? For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care as I had understood it? That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. As a pickpocket does. Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady?
I see, so it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, madam. And she immediately tried to pawn it. For quite a high price as well. This is all really suspicious, I think.
Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would.
Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me.
Doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man, it's me old man's, ain't it?
Is it, Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Damn, why do these outfits look so good? You like have the eyes of an evil person, but like your outfit. God damn. This is like my favorite time period for fashion. God, it's so... Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen.
What's your problem, eh?
There is no problem. As long as you remove yourself, I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line.
You are an impudent brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am?
So invested in this game from your stream VODs. Shame I can't stick around for risk of spoiling. Love you, Crystal. Keep doing what you do.
Aw, that's really sweet. I appreciate it, Trapies. Thank you so much for the 200 bits. I'm glad you're enjoying these VODs. That really means a lot. You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you?
Broker? Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. Needless to say. Any music box discs too?
No. You can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was. Now it's mine.
Goodness, Mr. Naruto. This is a very awkward situation. Yeah, I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little bit more detail. Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying...
What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before.
Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now.
No, I swear it. I swear to God.
It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I'd been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. Okay. You don't need to flaunt it, we can see it, buddy, okay. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these backslum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Mr. Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police.
Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one?
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you.
Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it.
Oh, I have evidence, naturally.
You what?
Evidence? Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course! We need only consult Mr. Windibank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh.
I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine.
Why not?
Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
Ah, yes, I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to a person asking to redeem it?
It's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course. It's... Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword, interesting. About these watchwords, Mr. Wendebank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Holmes, now, was it? Yeah.
Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all.
Anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on February 15th. With the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir.
But how?
Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt. Picture postcard, gentlemen. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly, you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yeah, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard of talk of the place. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else, and what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first, before inquiring about the name of another. Of course, yeah, I'm Ryunosuke Naruto. I'm a lawyer, well, a student of the law, really.
My name is Hisato Mikotoba, and I am Mr. Naruto's assistant.
I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict. Enchanté. What are you, French now? He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand.
overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him.
Me neither, honestly.
Let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is deposited. Another? Another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that was what was deposited with me when was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to your style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal! Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on him. I found it first, all right? I mean, it belonged to me, old man. So you're not having it. Or you take it.
Me.
If I hang on to it, they'll have it off of me again. So you keep it up. Keep off of it.
Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her?
You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars.
What do I do now? How am I gonna resolve this? What? Look at the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. The protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yeah, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict. I hate this name so much. When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his finger, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. Ouch, just thinking about it hurts and puts me off eating radish. Mr. McGilded. There's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look. And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilded. McGilded, it couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruto. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? The music box disc's information has been updated. Miss Lestrade is really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something to calm down before she loses control and attacks him again. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. Mr. Windebeg is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his. Oh my god. Herlock? Mr. Holmes? What are you examining with such keen interest over there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruto. Sorry? After that young pickpocket set me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in that jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruto? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Why on earth didn't you join the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Ah! I love this man. He's so stupid. He drives me nuts. Poor Mr. Holmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder where my genius for deduction to be commoditized. How much could I pawn it for? Oh my god. Seems Mr. Holmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. Who knows if it will help the resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Leave it or listen to the deduction? We have to listen to the deduction, of course. Here we go. Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Where the blue blazes have you been, eh?
Pardon?
When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be that out. Straight away.
Oh god, Holmes is dead again. Harsh. Who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Eggert Benedict. You have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon? The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation. One you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. Stop! It would seem that once again, Mr. Holmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Oh yes, as I had hoped. This is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Sherlock Holmes Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Alright, here we go. I literally hate how much I love this. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet, even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need for such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. AG? Why does your cane say AG, sir? The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an uncontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. Not the initials on it? Okay. The end of a walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. Holmes, how did you get... Okay. And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion, of course. Right. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Well, And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reactions betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, there is no walking cane. This is no walking cane. Ah, no, that rod? Is the broken handle of a shovel. Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. Look at the calculated crime. I love him so much. Like, the more that you guys said in the last stream that that maybe I could be Sherlock Holmes, you know, I thought about it more. Like, damn, sometimes I'd be like on the right track at first in the broader sense, and then whenever I hone down my theories, they go off course, just like this. It's kind of sad how much similarities there really are. Like, the more I look into it, I'm like, holy shit, my theories are literally exactly this. They start off like kind of there, and then they just go wee. Oh no. The more more that we experience Mr. Sholmes, the more I see it, and the more I just hate it. So much. Yes, I'm admitting it, okay? I'm admitting it. But that doesn't mean I'm dumb either. Mr. Sholmes is still a smart man. Whatever, okay? I was the himbo all along. Yeah, you guys didn't know it, but... Yep, I am a himbo. Alright. Maybe that's why I love him so much. I don't know. Oh. Great crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently, in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating. Thank you, Ravi, appreciate it. Is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is a top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Conclusion: to steal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. I love this man. I love him so much. I'm dying. Oh god, I'm dying. Well, Mr. Naruto, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed. Though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. And he just spews it out in the open like that. Okay. Gregson told me it is the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can only be one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal. What if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh, my life. I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. I'm dying. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Phew. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Holmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruto. An excellent idea! Well then, Mr. Naruto, you know what to do, I'm sure. Let's listen to the great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Here we go. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Totally. So by Mr. Holmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? What is on the back of it? Oh my god. Is that a picture of Gina? Oh, look at the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of this shop had been written down here too. Windibank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, Fuck, I just almost bit my tongue again, but it like scraped my, ow. redemption deadline 15th of April, which is today's date. What would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? So yeah, that's what brought him here, because Gina was here.
Take that!
Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So you waited outside for the on-gold matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an uncontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years! The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. What's a ferrule? It's the metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruto. Ah, that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly, and Mr. Holmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Holmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Benedict would rather we don't know. Look here, Mr. Sato. There's some letters on the handle. Ah, yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So, Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. The initials on the cane obviously... Oh, AG? Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Oh, I don't know.
Take that!
The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed. No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that... You said before that you'd had that cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the next answer of the conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade with a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Oh. That's unfortunate. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart, look! So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now that I think it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting and he wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If he were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? So, how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? She's really given this some thought.
Take that!
Susato being Susato. The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see? Oh yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket, this catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose: to steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winterbank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. To abscond with a redeemed item. The great crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime that you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Wait, is that a picture of the cat in front of the snowman? I just realized that. Kitty. Which is a pity, because it all sounds rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Winterbank would never have allowed you to redeem the article.
Or looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Method is revealed by the council notice. Okay, not the method. I want to look at this picture. Hopefully. Oh, wait, I can't. We can't go up and down. We just go left and right. I want to look at the picture. The snowman with the kitty. It's so cute. It's so cute. Look at the kitty in front of the snowman. It's so cute. Okay, sorry. Look at this, Mr. Sato. Ah, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor! Mr. Windibank must have made a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And an alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? I want to look at the revolver real quick. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. Loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life or death profession. That might just be this particular establishment. Yeah, I think so.
Take that!
Yeah, he left it out in the open. The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has at hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? Well, it is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword as his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal that pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan! Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, the picture postcard tells us what we need to know. Ah, yes, of course, Mr. Holmes. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Windibank isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already... Ooh! Sleep, didn't get it. We already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruto. Could we really? I'd better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads, "For Mr. McGilded." Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? For Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Got him! Well, well. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Holmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mrs. Otto. According to what Mr. Windibank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat would have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Today is 15th of April, so 2 months ago today would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m. I see. But that suggests this was after his time of death. Precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. What the fuck? It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? No, the name of this game is to be true to yourself, even if it means me dying. I will not hand over the disc. I don't care if he got a gun. I will ride or die living on the truth of the law. I will stand true. All right? I stand true to myself. You can't threaten me like this. Go ahead, kill me. It's fine. Please don't give me a game over. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Mr. Windibank! This is my shop. I cannot allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Windibank, no. All right, that's enough.
Oh god, now this fucks here. Jesus, this place is crowded. Inspector Gregson! Inspector. That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life and my own very establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Does he get anything for threatening me with a fucking gun? Right, you lot have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Windibank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might not have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. He's getting away! After him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too, sir! There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. Oh, yeah? I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard. Thank you very much. Hand it over. Of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine. I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to Miss McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and there were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. Oh boy. Oh boy. Save our progress. Yep. Hi, Neuro. Gina is a cutie. I'm wondering what's her deal. So, like, I wonder if maybe she owes a debt to Mr. McGilded of some sort? I don't know. It's a little... I don't think she's bad. Per se. I guess I don't know the proper word for it, but I don't know. It just seems weird. I don't know what's going on. Rizzo! Thank you so much for gifting 5 subs to the community. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Whew. 15th of April, Baker Street.
See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you.
Oh really, Mr. Strode? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm?
What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D left me keep it. After I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to stop it. Always pays off giving people a look like you hate them.
I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day.
What I really want was that nice shiny disc mine.
The music box disc?
But Mr. Winterbank said it was
What
practically
about Great
worthless.
Ace Attorney Chronicles 2? This is DLC, will be more episode.
Thanks for the new biscuit. What? I don't understand.
I think I'm gonna go have another batch. Give him a long hard stare.
I think that, Miss Lestrade, we shan't enter Winterbanks again today.
Why not? That's not fair.
Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank.
But that disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That what the rotten cove said, ain't it?
Yeah, he did mention something about another article, didn't he?
Well then, that's mine too. Whatever it is.
Now she's really pushing her luck. She's trying real hard. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day.
Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes.
So, what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening?
Eh?
Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. And I might entertain you with a modest violin recital.
No, ta. Why would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something?
Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you. How exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Otto. Until later then. Well, okay. I do like surprises. But I also don't need more excuses to fall in love with Mr. Sholmes either. Really don't. Sholmes is sweet.
Ah, Susie and Reno, come in.
Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning.
Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already.
Busy as always?
I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening.
Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you?
Oh, yes. After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess.
Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it?
It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting?
Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news! Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional.
Yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate, are you, Mr. Naruto? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Oh no, not the vest again.
Hurley! Oh, like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Holmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are anymore, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Holmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Don't you love parenting 10-year-olds? Woo! Come to think of it. I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Bruno? Have you ever such a funny look on your face? You have ever. Oh no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Holmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How did you... Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the Mr. McGildy case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends! Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There's so many beautiful colors in the world, Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she actually does come. Living with Holmes. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind that and where are your real parents? My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born. And around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mystery cases together. Ah, that Wilson. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So you mean it's true? Mr. Holmes really did have a partner with him who he tackled some of his most taxing cases. Oh yes, I mean it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Holmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me that I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. And found your father's memoirs. Yes. So I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me that's whenever I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Holmes' partner. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me that he wasn't really my daddy. I mean,
It must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Holmes chose to tell you at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some cases I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, actually. I'd always assumed that Mr. Holmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he is a doctor of medicine, you see? That's what prompted me to study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruto. Oh, that's like the Japanese judge. Oh, wait, this is Japan. Kindly state before the court of name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Mrs. Sato? Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you!
Mr. Holmes!
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. See, so, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? And for some reason, it just doesn't feel enough.
Do tell me, Mr. Holmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever you're talking about, dear madam. Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
Oh, not another disc, Mrs. Otto. This is the one Gregson demanded that we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilden's disc.
Oh my!
Then what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruto, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, you may well be even more adept in at larceny.
Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'll be your pickpocketing assistant. And Runo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Right.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all of our menacing crime notifications. I'd be delighted. I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Holmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you'll humor me, my dear fellows, cast your eyes back to where the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGilded down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Ah, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? You did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. This is so awkward because I want to say das hot, but it's awkward. Fuck. I just can't. Like,
The Phantom Thieves are super lame.
Have a good time on the vacation, Chris.
Aww. Leo, thank you for the 500 bits. I will. Say it. Oh my god, Lumi. Okay, he's fucking hot. Alright? It makes you really uncomfortable. Look, it's the outfit with the smarts and the dorkiness. Look, I'm a simp. Okay, alright, I'll admit it. Fine. You caught me, fine. Okay, I'm simping hard. I'm proud of it. I'll say it loud and proud. Whatever. Fuck off. Whatever. And you know what I'm gonna do on top of it? Just to rub in all your faces? I'm gonna make this outfit myself. That's right. Cause it is attractive as fuck. And I'm gonna make this vest, and I'm gonna wear it myself, and I'm gonna wear the jacket too, alright? It's cool, it's hot, it's fashionable. I'm into it. Alright, I said it. I'm way too attracted to this man. It's so bad. Okay. I got it out of my system. It'll come back in like 30 minutes, I swear to God. It'll come back soon. I just can't. Oh my God. Rizo, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. I appreciate it. Holy shit. Thank you. Oh. Okay. I can keep playing this game. Yeah, I can keep playing this game. I'm fine. Oh. You know what would be a really good idea? A really bad idea, but a really good idea? I should maybe avoid this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, like, I'm vacationing this week. I should stop by the fashion district at some time and just already buy the fabric for the cosplay. I'm gonna be in Montreal for 5 days.
And they do got a really nice fashion district there that have really unique and great fabrics. I could just, you know, hit it up and start buying all the shit for this cosplay. I'm just saying, I could buy the good shit. Maybe I will. You know what? Maybe I will. Who fucking cares? Okay, anyway, moving on. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have been an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting, the result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press, and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Hey, if I want to start making the cosplay during my vacation, y'all can't stop me, all right? I'm a workaholic. If I got time to spare before sleep, like if I'm like out, you know, touring Montreal, and then I go back to my hotel and have like an hour to spare, I'm gonna start. You can't stop me. Look, that is an hour of pattern making that I could be doing in my hotel room and not waste any of the minutes that I have in my day. This is so sad. Okay. It sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. The music on the disc. Do tell us then, Mr. Holmes, what music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea. None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Bruno? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented use a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce, and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present. It is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which the music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Intrackable. I see, so that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. As you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So,
I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's early for you. Always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? What? Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yeah, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows. Still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up.